Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the nerdiest competition ever created by the Language of Bromance team. In this corner, obsessed with Star Wars and anything with swords, Richard! And in this corner, obsessed with the Ninja Turtles and scared of anything from the ocean, Shion! Brought to you as a Pod Bros exclusive in association with the LOB Army. Tonight's competition is a Language of Bromance draft.
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Sean.
And we're speaking the language of bromance. Maybe we should start doing these shows a little earlier in the evening.
Richard, we are about to... I'm going to get my movie voice out. In an episode of Language of Bromance, where it's foe against foe, bro against bro, in the 17th ever Language of Bromance draft, we're going to do the movie trailer draft, bitches! I'm out of breath! Woo!
Yeah. Okay. So these are just we're not even talking about the movie. We're not even talking about the movie. We now live in a world where the movie is basically the culmination. You know, the first thing you got to do if you're making a film, what's the first thing you got to do, Sean? First thing you got to do, you got to build that hype train. And how do you build a good hype train?
A good trailer, man. A good movie trailer. Well, so you got to have the pre-teaser trailer, then the teaser trailer, then the teaser trailer, then the trailer.
No, first it's just a screenshot. It's like, hey, here's the screenshot. And then you get the shot of, that somebody took on their cell phone of people standing around while they're waiting to roll camera. And then after that, then you get the roughly 1 minute and 30-second teaser trailer. And that's when you're like, okay, like you see some stuff and you say to yourself, oh, is this, did I get enough information to make a determination on the movie? I'm going to go ahead and answer that right now. The answer is no. No, you didn't. Okay. You see, you're telling me you're going to base a 90-minute to 120-minute film. You're going to see a 90 seconds of cut film together, and that's what you're going to base your entire opinion of a movie on. Like, how many times have you seen that? Somebody watches 90 seconds of a film, and they're going to be like, nah, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. Oh, this looks terrible.
I mean, some trailers, they just give you the whole movie right there. Batman v Superman.
Some of them do. Yes, they do.
So what we're drafting today is movie trailer. So if the movie's good, if the movie sucks, that doesn't matter. We are going for the trailer. The trailer is is the greatest thing that we saw and, out of the event. It's a top-notch trailer. You remember it for some reason.
Yes.
And in our drafts, if you haven't listened before, but what our drafts are, there are 7 rounds, NFL style. We flip-flop picks back and forth. So whoever has the first pick in the first round gets the first pick in the second round. Back in the day, we flipped a penny to see who gets to go first, and I won. So on odd drafts, I get the first pick. So on this Language of Bromance movie trailer draft, I get the first pick.
Yes, you do.
I'm ready to rock and roll if you are.
I'm going to tell you right now, he's confident. He was trash talking me before we hit the record button. So be prepared for evisceration, sir.
Well, well, I'm the kind of guy that I love movie trailers. They are my thing. You know, whenever I have a chance, there's a new movie trailer. I don't even care if I'm going to go see the movie. I want to see the movie trailer. There's something about that 90 seconds that reminds me of something. Maybe it's my love life. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, are we going with full length trailers? Or are we going with tease? Because now there's a difference. I mean, I think when you were a kid, when I were a kid, like there was just a trailer. You see a trailer for a movie and like, okay, that's gonna come out soon. But now we live in a world where here's the teaser, here's trailer 1, here's trailer 2, and here's TV spot number 5, and
Yeah, I was just kind of picking like the first trailer, but I mean, if this teaser is what you want, but if you pick a movie and you say this trailer was it, like you can't say, oh well, I like the second trailer, so that's my second pick. None of that. You pick a movie, it's off the draft board.
okay, all right.
All right, so for my first round pick, I went with when I got hyped for this movie. The trailer had me invested. I was like, I want to see this movie. Like I've never seen a movie like this before. I have to absolutely see this movie.
Okay.
I downloaded all the wallpapers, and I had my laptop like caked in these wallpapers.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had the whenever my screensaver came up, it was cycling through like all these different ones. It's by a guy who just recently did a big comic book movie that's made over like $700 million that some people don't care too much for.
Yeah.
Richard, I'm going to go with the movie. In this trailer, this is what gets you. You get Kung Fu Master saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Ooh.
Richard, I'm going to go with Sucker Punch.
Oh, that was so on my list.
This was, I mean, you see this trailer and you see this chick is going into an insane asylum. You see like she's got bad shit happening to her. And to me, this was going to be like a whole psychological, movie. Like she's imagining she's in this place. She's fighting robots, she's fighting dragons, she's fighting, like all these zombie-esque Nazis.
That movie, was that movie just not like, it was just this, somebody went through a checklist of all the things that you love in this world and was like, hey, let's put this in here. Let's put this in here. Let's put this in here. What do you like? I like dragons. We got dragons. What else do you like? Girls in skimpy clothes.
Yeah.
We got girls in skimpy clothes. What do you want them to have in their hands? Maybe swords. We got girls with swords.
But I like when they shoot guns. Yeah, they're going to shoot guns too.
What else you like? Zeppelins. We got zeppelins.
I like seeing Nazis die. Yeah, we got that too, man. Nazis dying. It's all there. But I mean, you can't tell me that you weren't super hyped when you first saw it. I know you and I talked about, it's like, what the hell is this movie? I've never heard of this movie before.
Right? And it was kind of on the I think it just came out, or the trailer for that. This was, just after the whole 300 kind of, hype.
Yeah, 300 came out. It was
where it was kind of that, it seemed like it was that kind of style of filmmaking.
Yeah, it was by Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
I believe he was the one that did it. And, like you said, 300 just came out, and 300 was an amazing change of pace for a movie. You're like, holy shit, this is going to be like 300, but, in this imaginary world with these badass chicks, like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It wasn't awesome, but the trailer was awesome.
The trailer was awesome. It was all fine until you saw the movie.
And I'm not going to lie. I went back and watched these trailers just to kind of get my mindset back going. And when I watched that, I got hyped again. Like, I'm like, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought.
And then you were like, oh, I better not watch the movie.
Yeah, I just watched the trailer for 90 minutes.
Yeah, like, I'll watch the trailer and then just don't watch the movie again, just so that way you can end your love affair with Sucker Punch on a high note.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like I said, it had everything. It got me pumped. It was something different. There's a lot of action. There's a great tagline in it. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Like, that gave me chills.
Yeah.
I almost got that tattooed on my wrist. Like, I was going to get that tattooed and Sucker Punch underneath it. I'm glad I didn't, because people would be like, what's that from? Sucker Punch? That really shitty movie? Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Sorry.
So for my first round pick in the movie trailer draft, I'm going to go with the movie trailer Sucker Punch.
That's really good. That was a contender for my number one pick. I can honestly say that, yeah, I think you stole that from me. All right, I'm going with another movie. I'm going with a movie by a very accomplished director, J.J. Abrams. It's a J.J. Abrams movie. Yeah, he knows what I'm picking. Okay, so this is a movie that it kind of has that. So we've seen movies like The Blair Witch, and you see, the shaky cam footage and la da 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 da, and you're thinking, hey, you see like some shots of a party and whatever, and everything's going along great. Everybody's having a good time at some house party. It looks like they're in like a loft in New York City, and it's very Sex in the City. And then all of a sudden the power kind of flickers out and you hear a gigantic roar. Sean, for my first round pick, I am going with the movie Cloverfield.
That was my second pick.
See, you're pissing the dogs off. Knock it off.
I think it was the growling that made him mad.
It was. Cloverfield. This is a movie where, did the movie live up to the trailer? Not really. But trailer was awesome. I mean, Statue of Liberty head rolling down the middle of the street.
Yeah, that was what sold me. And the whole thing with this, too, is you have no clue what this movie's about. It's not like, what is this about? Like, there's a monster.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Because at first, I think in the first trailer, it doesn't even say Cloverfield. It just says 118, was it 08? 11808 or 118.
Yeah, it didn't say Cloverfield. It gave you 1108. I think is what it was called, because you see this, you see this trailer, you see, things blowing up and Statue of Liberty here rolling down with giant claw marks down the fucking face of it, and then you just see the release date. And then you're like, what? Huh? I remember what movie it was that I saw that trailer in when I was in the theater.
Was it Transformers? Because I remember, because the whole thing with that is like, well, what is this? Is it, what did people think it was at first? What was like the big theory?
Oh, I think the theory was that it was going to be like Godzilla.
Well, there's Godzilla. I know I heard like some people thought it was Cthulhu.
Yeah.
What was the like Transformers light? Was it Decepticons or not Decepticons? That's from Transformers.
What, like the micro or the fucking GoBots?
Yeah, I thought somebody said they thought it might be a GoBots movie.
It's a GoBots movie.
It's like, this is a serious take on the GoBots.
No one has ever said that in their entire life. This is a dramatic take on the GoBot. But yeah, I think the thing with this trailer is it just dropped and just kind of like came right out of left field. Nobody was paying attention, and then this thing shows up and everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, I was gonna say it was one of those things too, like you said, it just dropped out of nowhere, but they did all the viral campaigning for this. Like, you instantly jumped online to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so good.
I love the fact too that J.J. Abrams, I think he said the reason that he had the Statue of Liberty head like going across the street like that is because he saw Escape from New York.
And
in the movie poster it had that, but you never see the Statue of Liberty at all in the movie. And so he said he had to put that in there.
Yeah. And then you saw the poster, and the poster had the head gone.
Yeah.
And the claw marks on the statue.
Did you know if you look in the clouds, you can see the monster head?
Yes, I did know that. I haven't looked at that poster in forever, but yeah.
Yeah, that was another one. After I saw it, I had the movie poster on my screensaver background. So
I think I did too, actually. So yeah, there you go, Sean. First round pick. I'm going with Cloverfield.
Nice pick. So I'm actually kind of nervous about this now.
Ooh.
I figured you were gonna come into this and be like, I'm gonna pick Jaws. I'm gonna pick, this. I'm gonna pick that. Like, I didn't know you were a trailer savant like me, Richard. This is gonna be interesting.
Oh well. Hoist it on your trailer petard. You are trailer petarded.
For my second round pick, I want to go with a movie. It's actually two movies, Richard. And inside this movie, they had a lot of awesome fake trailers.
Oh.
This is a movie by two very famous directors.
Oh, yes.
And they really brought back, the trailer gives you that gritty, dark, the go into the movie theater to see a Grindhouse movie. I'm going to go with the trailer for Grindhouse. In this, you get to see, pieces of Death Proof. You get to see pieces of Planet Terror. You've got the awesome voiceover from the guy, saying, only at Grindhouse.
Oh yeah, I think the major the awesome moment in that was Kurt Russell talking about the car.
Yeah, he's like, well, what's wrong? Do I scare you? Is it my scar? She's like, no, it's your car.
No, when he's driving the car and he's like, this car is 100% death proof.
Oh, yeah.
To really get the effect, you really got to be sitting in my seat. And then you just see him crank the wheel and then it cuts to the title. Yeah.
I mean, that's your corny Grindhouse style movies. And both those movies are actually really, really good. I was really surprised.
I think Death Proof or Planet Terror, I knew I was probably gonna like, because I'm thinking like, hey, it's Robert Rodriguez and there's I can't think of her name, but what's her face she's got a fucking gun for a leg. She has a gun for a leg, Sean.
You get those scenes right. Like they don't bury anything. It's like we're giving you a chick with a grenade launcher on her leg and she's gonna fuck some people up.
Yeah. So, like, I knew I was going in, I was like, I'm going to like that bit. Like, I saw that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to like that. Death Proof was really the one that kind of surprised me, because I thought it was going to be a movie kind of based around the car. I was kind of under the impression, like, hey, I'm not really a car guy, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about just, a car driving around. But I saw after the trailer, I was like, Kurt Russell's playing like an asshole.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I remember the day vividly. I believe you and our buddy Kevin went to see it. Like all three of us were going to go see it that day.
We did.
And I had like a shitty day at school and I had homework I had to get to. So I'm like, listen, guys, I can't go. I got to do this homework.
Yeah.
I get it figured out and I'm pissed off because I missed this movie. So I'm like, I'm going to go by myself. And so I think that was like the first movie I ever saw by myself. And it was totally worth it.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember Kevin and I were sitting in the theater like, Sean's such a fucking pussy.
Going to school.
Man, I had a bad day, man. I'm sitting in my vagina.
I do like, too, that on both those movies, they had crossovers. So in Grindhouse and Death Proof, like all the doctors and the police officers and stuff were the ones from Planet Terror from the previous movie.
Yeah.
And then you had the fake trailers in there, which some of those could have been on my list.
I really like. I was under the impression that they were going to do that and then kind of keep going with it. Like we were going to get more. It was basically going to be like a revitalization of the Grindhouse, and then we were going to get more of these. Really kind of small budget, not really independent, but kind of these indie kind of films with like this 70s retro kind of feel to it. I thought we were going to get more of these after that, but that didn't happen, and I was really disappointed by that.
Yeah, I think that was the plan, but I just don't think it panned out. Because I mean, how cool would it be if you find up and coming directors? They filmed their the trailer they put in the middle, so you get like 6 to 8 of these fake trailers, and then like people vote on the top 2, and that's what your Grindhouse for the next year would be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, could you imagine Werewolf Women of the SS? That's the one I would vote for.
Me too. Well, we got Machete. We did get Machete.
I think Machete 1 and 2. I think they made 2 of them.
Yes, they did. We did. So yeah, we did get Machete. I totally forgot about that.
But I mean, this is a trailer that gave you everything. It gave you some intrigue. You had the awesome, voiceover. It was very action packed. It's like something you'd feel driving into a Grindhouse, film place in the 70s. That's the feel you got for it. So for my second round pick, I'm going to go with Grindhouse.
All right.
Was that on your list at all?
No, but it honestly, it should have been. It really should have been. All right. My second round pick, I am going with a Zack Snyder movie as well. This movie is based on a comic book. Zack Snyder based on a comic book. Sean, for my second round pick, I'm going with a movie that was based on a really pivotal comic that was made in the 80s. I'm going with The Watchmen.
That was on my list.
The trailer for The Watchmen, because I think, we saw again, I mean, I hate to keep drawing on 300, but you saw 300 and you were like, okay, that's a lot like the graphic novel was, but you saw the trailer for Watchmen and it almost looked like they were pulling shit directly from the fucking page and putting it on a gigantic screen for your fucking eyeballs.
Yeah, I mean, I was super pumped for this when I saw. I mean, it's like all these superheroes. Like, I didn't have a clue who these people were, because I never read the comic. And it looks super dark. I don't know if I realized it was R-rated or not at the time, but it was an R-rated superhero movie.
Yeah.
And then again, this had the action. This had the beautifulnul to it. But then you had the line. You have a Rorschach saying, when the world looks up and shouts, "Save us," and I'll say no.
Ugh.
It's like, oh, chills.
Yeah. I don't really know what else. I mean, you had. I think that if I remember, I think the trailer had some scenes of the comedian in his apartment. From the beginning of the movie. The comedian getting in a fight and getting thrown out of the window in his apartment.
You had some scenes of them fighting in Vietnam.
Yeah.
You had the whole scene.
Yeah.
You had the whole scene of the blue guy turning into the blue guy. The shots of Rorschach, I mean, that I would love to see a Rorschach movie because he's basically like a badass Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to go with a little bit crazier, but yeah.
I remember I went back to watch that pretty recently because I think I've got some like movie channel that it's just on cable, but it's not like HBO, and they show these movies every now and then uncut.
Uh-huh.
And the scene where he talks about where he ends up like fully becoming Rorschach when he finds the guy who's been like kidnapping kids and feeding them to his dog, like that's so fucking dark.
Yeah.
And you don't really you get that this movie is dark from the trailer, but when you go in and watch it,
you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, I think that was a movie that really, because people that hadn't read the comic, obviously, I think it was a really super jarring for a lot of people that went in to go and sit down like, oh, this is a movie about superheroes. There's people in costumes, obviously, so this is what we're gonna get. We're gonna get people in costumes doing superhero-y things. Yeah, we didn't get that in the. They weren't superhero-y.
No. Well, I mean, you realize you're coming off like The Dark Knight, which was, I mean, Dark Knight's kind of dark, but it's not Watchmen dark.
Was Watchmen after The Dark Knight?
I believe so, yeah, because I think.
Oh wow.
Because I'm pretty sure I went to see that with Tiffany. Well, no, I didn't. No, what year did that come out? Hold on.
They have an Ultimate Edition. I know they have an Ultimate Edition where they've cut in the Tales of the Black Freighter, that motion comic they did, where you watch the movie and then they intercut it with the motion comic, and it makes like this super long cut that's like 3 hours or something like that.
Well, yeah, the cut here says it's 3 hours and 35 minutes. So I mean, it's really long. I still just remember back in the day going and seeing that, and there being like a 10 or 12-year-old kid behind me with his grandma. And I mean, I watched it. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is a little too graphic. But then you get the sex scene between the owl and the one chick, and it's graphic.
Not even just the. I wouldn't even go. I'd go before that where where Sable gets assaulted.
Yeah,
like that one was a bit jarring. I mean, even when you take out the shit with Rorschach, like that's a bit jarring in and of itself, because you're just like, that's not very superhero like. Hey, you're not being superheroes.
But then you kind of like, you're watching and like, oh man, this is pretty bad. About halfway through the movie, you get a big blue dick in your face. you look over at your girlfriend like, there's nothing super about that. She's like, speak for yourself. Aww.
Son of a bitch. Oh.
I wish I had a big blue dick. Me too. Bitch! Go get your own popcorn.
We need to go by the store on the way home. What store? Never you mind. Mind your own business, that fucking store. Yeah, there we go. That's my pick. I'm going with Watchmen.
All right, that's a good pick. So for my third round pick, that was on my list. So basically, right now, every pick has been something from my list.
Yeah. How you feeling now? See, he was coming in all confidence, all dick swinging in the fucking wind. And guess what? Who's the one taking him down a peg? Who has two thumbs? It's taking you down a peg? This guy.
Well, you didn't have Grindhouse, so I still think I'm one up.
This is true. I did not have that, and I should have.
So for my third round pick, like I always feel that what makes a movie trailer for me is something that I want to watch again. You know, you want to watch it multiple times.
Yeah, because you want to like kind of try and pick at it. Like you want to pick it apart to see if you can see cooler stuff that you missed. And
well, yeah, just pick at it or things that, you know, the trailer actually entertains you. Like I love, when there's a trailer and I laugh or I get, scared or I have like these emotions pulled out of me from a, 90-second trailer.
Right. Or 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. And this movie, this trailer, I didn't have any idea what it was. So for my third round pick, this is a movie that I wanted to watch multiple times, or a trailer I wanted to watch multiple times because it pulled something from me. I didn't realize what these characters were. I didn't realize what this movie was. And I had no idea I would love the movie as much as I love the trailer. For my third round pick, I'm going to go with the trailer Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh, that was on my list. Hooked on a feeling.
Oh, I mean that hook.
And I am believing that you're in love with me. God, we should so take this on the road.
Oh, yes. So, I mean, you had like this whole thing of like it's a superhero movie starting out. You see this guy, Indiana Jones style, going into this thing, finds the relic, picks it up, and oh crap, there's people. You're like, holy shit, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he hands it over. He's like, what's your name? He's like, I'm Star-Lord. You're like, oh, fucking right, this dude's Star-Lord. Hell yeah. Everybody look, this is Star-Lord. And you get the same
Dude's
reaction. Yeah. Who?
Star-Lord.
And I mean, you have, you get to see this raccoon. You get to see Drax, the girl. You see this big ass fucking tree. It's all over the place. And they kind of walk you through who these characters are a little bit in that lineup piece when they go to jail.
Yeah.
The part that sold me on this, so they're standing there, you see all the characters, and they're in the lineup, and you see the guy says, they call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy. And the guy behind them, is like, what a bunch of a-holes. And I mean, you cut to it, and it's, you see Star-Lord yawning, and you see like I think the raccoon's scratching himself.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yes, this looks hilarious.
Yeah, and okay, and here's the thing when it came to Guardians of the Galaxy, and I know I've said this multiple times, like, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, what, like, that's that comic book, I'm sorry, I was not a fan of the comic, and I would struggle to find somebody that was like, oh my God, I loved the comic book so much. I mean, I think you would have to struggle to find someone that was like, oh, I read them from the time from issue 1. Like, it was not a popular comic, at least from what I understand. I could be wrong on that, but I'm going to say it wasn't a popular comic. And so when they announced it as a movie, I mean, there were a lot of people that were like, Guardians of the Galaxy? That's the one with the fucking raccoon in it. Like, they're going to make that a movie?
This is the movie Marvel fails at, right, guys? And then they show that trailer, and everybody's like,
son of a bitch.
Yep, I'm going to see it.
Yeah, that's like, everybody's like, no, I mean, okay, like, Marvel's had a good run. They had Cap and the Avengers and Iron Man, the la-da-da-da-da. Like, okay, this...
They can't all be winners, right, guys? They can't all be winners.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to have, that one, eventually they got to put out, that B-list title, and there it is. Okay, so now, and then everybody sees the trail, and they're just like, fuck. Almost like people were angry it was good. They were just like, it's really fucking good.
Well, that's what sells me on a trailer too. Is this was one of them that after I finished it, I watched it a second time because I did, like I said, I had no clue what to expect. It's like the Cloverfield. I don't have a clue what this movie's supposed to be about, and you watch it and you're like, huh. I need to watch this again. And you watch it multiple times to get yourself like you're entertained by this trailer. And that was one that entertained me pretty well.
And one thing I will say when it comes to the trailer and the movie, you watch the trailer and they're playing like retro music from the from the 70s and the fucking 80s, and you're thinking like in your head, you see them doing music like that in the trailers, but you're like, oh, that's not going to be in the movie. Fuck too, it wasn't in the movie. Fuck too. Not only that, oh my God, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Oh, best soundtrack in the world. And it makes you, and it's at the point, it was so good that when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, like, I think I was with everybody going, what's the soundtrack going to be like? Like, what music are they going to have in this one? It was a movie that it had the fucking Pina Colada song in it.
So for my third round pick, I'm going to go with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, it was on my list. Oh, let's see. Where am I going to go here? Okay. Sean, there are a lot of things trailers can do. They're supposed to get you hyped for the movie, which I think that all these all these on both our lists, all these accomplish. Supposed to get you hyped for a movie. Supposed to maybe invoke some sort, a wide range of emotions. But I don't think that there are very few trailers, I think, that people have watched over and over just to get a feeling that they haven't felt in forever. Sean, for my next pick, and I've been saving it, I think, because I wanted to get these other the first two out of the way. For my next pick, I'm going with the trailer, the first trailer for The Force Awakens.
Ah, there you go.
I knew you knew I was gonna pick it, but I mean, I look, the first 15 seconds when you see the Lucasfilm logo and you're like, okay, all right, oh, okay, Lucasfilm logo, and the music comes up. And you see the fucking desert, and that land speeder is going across the desert, and you see that down Star Destroyer. In that first 10 seconds, I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. I don't care if this movie sucks. I don't care if this movie's this movie could be great. This movie could suck, but right now, I want to find whoever made this and hug them until I've lost the feeling in my arms, because they have welled up so much emotion in this 33-year-old man that, oh God, it had me and that's the thing. I like the trailer's amazing, but with the music and the fucking Star Destroyer, that first 15 seconds, you're just like, oh my, like I was 7 years old in that moment. I went from 33 to 7 by the end of those first 10 seconds. I was 7 years old watching like what? Oh my God, Sean, I'm it's terrible on a podcast. I'm losing my ability to put it into words. Fucking Force Awakens, Sean.
I mean, it had a lot of emotion there. It was that was the movie that really brought me back into, or not really brought me back into, but really exposed me to Star Wars, because I always never really got into it because I kind of felt late to the party. So it's like, oh, I don't really want to pick this up and be kind of a late to the party fanboy. But this trailer really kind of helped people be like, listen, who cares if you're not a fanboy yet? Everybody's welcomed. Look at this huge desert. Yeah, this is for everybody. Everybody can be here.
See that big thing in the back? That's a fucking Star Destroyer. You know what that's like. You hear this guy talking? Yeah, that's Luke fucking Skywalker.
Oh, yeah, you had him talking too, didn't you? I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was talking about the Force is strong in my family. I was like, like you just, like, it pulls at every... It's like somebody walked into my house and was like, if you wanted to see stuff in a Star Wars movie, what would you want to see? I'd be like, you know what? Give me Luke Skywalker talking about everybody in his family. show me fucking Darth Vader's mask, and show me a fucking show me, the hint of Princess Leia, and then show me the hint of fucking Luke Skywalker with R2D2, and I will pull every single dime out of my fucking bank account and hand it to you right now, sir. And he was like, "Okay, I'll be right back."
Well, and what I love too about that trailer is it didn't really expose anything. You had no clue what that movie was about.
No fucking idea. None.
But you still wanted to go see it too. That's the thing.
More than anything in this world, Sean. I think I watched that thing over and over and over and over and over, and it's still every single time it still invoked the same emotion. It never wore out on me. I watched that the first time, I watched it the 20th time, and I still felt the exact same watching it.
I think what sells that too is even after seeing the movie, I could probably go watch that trailer and still be excited, still get pumped up to watch the movie.
Oh my God, right? I'm sitting here now. I'm like, God, I want to see now. I just want to end the show so I can watch this thing again. So there you go, Sean. My third round pick, trailer for The Force Awakens. You knew it was coming, so here it is.
All right. So for my fourth round pick, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. But it came out in 2007, and I remember seeing the trailer for this because in it you see Kevin Costner and you see Dane Cook. This was about the time when Dane Cook was starting to get famous, and you're like, oh my God, this is a serious role, and Dane Cook's in it.
Okay. And
you're seeing the main character, Kevin Costner. He's kind of like a man of the year, getting an award. He's a family man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so they're kind of going through this like, oh, this is going to be a story about a man who, like has another family. Maybe he cheats on his wife, something like that. Like, I think when I saw this trailer in theaters, I toned out like pretty quickly. But then they suck you right back in because it's like, this guy has a mystery. And like in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, he's cheating on his wife. No, this dude's a serial killer. He goes around killing people because he has the urge to kill people. Richard, I'm going to go with my fourth round pick. I'm going to go with the Kevin Costner movie, Mr. Brooks.
I remember the trailer. I remember the premise, but I didn't see I actually didn't see the movie.
Oh my goodness. You absolutely need to see this movie. It was.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I do.
I've only seen it the one time in theaters. I want to see it again, but it was, I mean, if I would say that there's a movie that probably should have like inspired me to like make films, that's probably the one.
Wow.
I don't think I was in a right state of mind for it, because it's all about, I mean, this is kind of talking about the movie, but I mean, it's all about this guy who, they do what I love. Like, I love whenever people have like these conversations in their head, but there's a physical manifestation of that. So they're having like a two-way conversation and it's just them, but in their mind, but nobody else can see that person, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And that's what they did in this. Like, and that's not really like burying the lead. Like, they tell you right away, like you get this right away that he's talking to himself, but this guy that's with him is just his inner monologue. And whatever girl I was at the time, I was probably freaked out because like in the first 10 minutes he's having this conversation. I'm like, oh my God, I love when they do this. And I'm like watching for another 5 minutes and get that feeling like somebody's staring at me. I look over and it's just had like a creepy look on her face, like, what the fuck are you talking about? But the trailer leads all into this about, it's a serial killer who's, he stopped doing it for a while, but he's gone back to it and he's got caught. And he's like, it's Silence of the Lambs. There's a girl chasing him. I can't remember who it is that's chasing him. I can't remember what her name is. She's a pretty famous actress.
Okay.
But it just sucks you in. Like, there's a story there. You're like, what the hell's going on here? And I rewatched it again for this, and it still has that that pull to be like, man, this is a movie I want to watch.
All right. Like I said, I mean, I can't comment on it much more, but from what you describe, it sounds good. I might have to go and actually rewatch the trailer.
When it does what I think a good trailer does is when you first see it, you're like, oh, I know what this movie's about. It's a dude cheating on his wife. This is a PG-13, rated R maybe, suburban drama. And then it just takes a hard left turn and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And you see him like dressed in like, he wears an outfit with it, like he's carrying an axe and has like long bushy hair and a goatee because it's like his disguise. You're like, holy shit, what the fuck is this dude all about?
Yeah.
Is this like the Jason Myers or the Michael Myers origin story? Is that what this is?
Oh.
But so for my 4th round pick, I'm gonna go with Mr. Brooks, which is funny. My high school band teacher was named Mr. Brooks.
That's very disturbing, Sean.
Death by trumpet.
Let's see. Okay. For my 4th round pick, I'm going with the movie that started a series of movies. Well, it didn't really start, but it was the first one you saw out of a series of movies. And this was the opening salvo that set the tone for an entire world. You didn't, it's based on a book, and you read the book and you had pictures in your mind of what this character would look like, or what this place would look like, or what.
Is this Twilight?
It's Twilight.
Okay,
God,
I thought so.
You're so good at this. My next pick is Twilight. You had it. You had that picture in your mind's eye, and when you had heard that they announced that they were going to make this movie, you're thinking to yourself, no picture that they can paint is going to be better than the picture in my mind. The things that you create in your imagination can far outweigh almost anything that's put on screen. But then you saw the trailer. You saw the trailer for this movie, and you were like, oh my God, they fucking nailed it. This is exactly how I imagined these people would look like and these places would look like. And I didn't realize that we were here. It's almost like filmmaking had reached a point that you saw it and it was, oh, so we can do this now. Like, it's possible for this to happen now. For Sean, for my next pick, I'm going with the trailer for The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, and I know. So this was way before you got me into like Dungeons and Dragons. This was before we met, so I hadn't even seen any of these trailers. I would imagine I probably would have saw this and been like, "Huh, that's just some stupid stuff. I'm gonna go watch this other movie about stuff.
I'm gonna go watch Step It Up." That's what you would have said.
I love Step It Up. That was such a good movie.
Yeah. God damn it.
So, I mean, like, you had read the book, so this is, you hear that they're doing this. You probably have some reservations, like, they're not going to do this, and then what do you see?
You see the Nazgul. You see guys on horses with big black fuck-off hoods, and you see Legolas with his fucking bow and arrow, and Arwen riding around on her horse, and I think the Nazgul on top of Weathertop. I think that was in the trailer. And you see all this shit, and you're like, that's what it is. Like, after reading the books, like, that's exactly how you fucking imagined it. And you sit there and you go, how did they extract this image from my brain and put it on screen? Because this is precisely what I pictured.
I feel like do you think that's just basically because they use practical effects? They have a fan of the actual literature of they have fans of the book making that?
I think that's part of it. I also think part of it is that the books in and of themselves lend themselves to kind of paint a general idea. The books, when it comes to characters and when it comes to especially settings, when in the books, when they describe Weathertop, when they describe, the Rivendell and the Shire and stuff like that. I mean, the books are extraordinarily detail oriented, and you had a very talented group of people making that movie that took the time to pay attention to every single one of those little fucking details, those details that you are reading through a book and you see and you picture in your mind's eye. It could be something so minuscule that you totally miss it, but it's there and it's on the fucking screen and you're like, how did they fucking know that was there? But like I said, I think the book lends itself to doing that because, I mean, they're big fucking books. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You put those you put The Fellowship and Two Towers and Return of the King in one volume. I mean, it's fucking, you could kill somebody with that thing. They're very descriptive books.
Gotcha.
Like I said, especially when it comes to setting and characters. And so when you have a group of people that really give a shit about the material they're working with and the material and what they want to see generated on a screen, I think that it created this perfect marriage, and that's what you get.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So there you go, Fellowship of the Ring. That's where I'm at. 4th round, Fellowship of the Ring.
Hey everyone, this is Tom from the Say What Podcast, and I would love it if you'd swing over to saywhatpodcast.com to check us out as soon as you're done listening to this show. We handpick real news articles to poke fun at every week, like a lady from Florida attacking her boyfriend with a ceramic squirrel, or kids rubbing chapstick in their eyes to get high, or the guy who got arrested for repeatedly having sex with an inflatable pool shark. Yeah, I think you get the point. So tune into the Say What Podcast every Friday on iTunes, Stitcher, and at saywhatpodcast.com.
All right, so for my 5th round pick, I'm going to go with a movie that I don't know if I saw the trailer when it originally came out, but I was going back through, and this was a fun movie that got you excited. It was, I think I would consider this either right at the cusp or right before the zombie craze exploded, if you will.
Okay.
Had Woody Harrelson, had my girl Emma Stone.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with, for my 5th round pick, I'm going to go with Zombieland.
This also was on my list, sir.
I mean, this trailer opens up with all these like crazy scenarios of people getting chased. I think what really sells you this when this is like a fun movie is, Woody Harrelson says something along the lines of, my mom always told me I'd find something I'm good at. You see him kill a zombie. He's like, who would have known it would have been killing zombies? He's like, what do you think? Zombie kill of the week? And it cuts back to, same scene in the movie. It's like, no, kill of the week goes to Martha Jones at blah, 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 blah. And she drops the piano on the zombie. You're like, yeah, this is a movie I want to go see.
Zombieland was actually supposed to, apparently from what I understand, it was supposed to be a television show.
I thought I heard that they were supposed to do something like that. I was just looking at the guys who wrote Zombieland, because I guess they wrote Deadpool. I didn't realize that.
Really? Oh, that's so perfect.
Yeah. Apparently they're credited with Zombieland too, so I don't know if they've got it like written and like in pre-production or what, but I thought there was supposed to be like a TV show based on it.
So, oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, apparently the way I understood it with Zombieland was originally it was going to be a show for NBC of all fucking channels. They wrote I think they wrote a pilot episode. They wrote like 2 or 3 episode scripts after that. NBC they either passed on the deal or they rejected the pilot, and the guys had these scripts written and they're like, well, let's turn these television episode scripts we have, let's rework them and we can turn them into a movie. And what do we get? It was almost, I think, we saw Shaun of the Dead and we were like, holy shit, zombies can be funny. Like zombie movies can be funny. You can do that. And then we saw Zombieland and it was, oh, this is like Shaun of the Dead. Like zombies are they can still be funny. You kind of thought that Shaun of the Dead had exhausted that genre. Like it kind of it did comedy in a zombie apocalypse so well that it made you go, well, I mean, you can't do that again. It's just going to be
it's a one-hit wonder. Yeah. How are you going to?
Yeah, exactly. It's such a niche thing that, any repeat of it is just going to it's going to seem contrived. But then you saw the trailer for Zombieland and you're like, oh, yeah, you could totally do that. Dude's looking for fucking Twinkies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Snowballs. I hate snowballs.
Pretty good. Also, one of the best things, I mean, I can't remember if it was in the trailer, but I mean, Bill Murray.
No, yeah, that wasn't in the trailer. Nobody knew Bill Murray was going to be in that movie.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if he was in the trailer or not, but
because I think everybody had the same reaction, like that's fucking Bill Murray.
Yeah, and he had that thing before. Any regrets? And he's like, Garfield, maybe. Oh, it's so perfect.
Yeah. So for my 5th round pick, I'm gonna go with Zombieland.
Ooh, that's really good. That's like I said, that was on my list. Ooh, no. Oh, what do I go with? All right, for my next pick, I'm going with I'm gonna go with a movie that had the center of a trilogy. Had a pretty decent movie that it's springboarding off of, had a lot of high hopes riding on this and a lot of questions, But I think we got those questions answered when we saw it. Just the little glimpse of it and the little bit of dialogue, I think, had won some people over. Sean, for my 5th round pick, I'm going with the trailer for The Dark Knight.
It's on my list. Well, this was, so go ahead. This is yours. Go ahead and run with it.
Okay, so people were like, hey, we've picked Batman Begins comes out and it does really well. And people are going, well, what's, people are saying he's doing a trilogy. Like, what's the next movie going to be? Well, he's got to do the Joker. And lo and behold, yes, he announces that he's cast Heath Ledger as the Joker. And people are like, hey, he's got Heath Ledger?
Dude from A Knight's Tale?
The dude from fucking Brokeback Mountain. He was on that. At this point, Heath Ledger had for his career, he had Brokeback Mountain, which, do we even need to go into? Yeah, Brokeback Mountain. He had A Knight's Tale. He had some indie films, and he had a show. And I think I'm the only one that remembers this. He had a show on Fox called Roar. And this was like he was the main character in the show. This was like in the late 90s. I think they were trying to capitalize on the popularity of Braveheart, because Braveheart had, made a ton of money, won a lot of, won Best Picture, won a lot of Academy Awards. And this show was called Roar, and it was about this rebellion in Scotland against the Roman Empire when the Romans occupied England, and he was the leader of this, of this rebel group or whatever. But that was all we had to go on. And so a lot of people were like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of bullshit is this asshole gonna come up with? And we saw the trailer and we're like, hey, it's fucking Batman. Like, he was in the last Batman. Ra's al Ghul was in it, and that was fucking awesome. And then you hear this voice and you hear the fucking laugh, and all you get in the trailer, is you see the purple coat, and you see him kind of turn, and you see the hair, and you see the look on you see that fucking face, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Well, you get a little bit of where he's talking about what happened. Kill the bat. You get that whole speech.
Oh.
And then the next thing is like, here's my card. And he pulls out the Joker card.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you're sitting there going, I think what threw people for a fucking loop is like, everybody had at that point had based their Joker off Jack Nicholson. I would say not a comic book audience, but most of the mainstream audience had, when they think Joker, they thought of Jack Nicholson at that point. And between the movie, the Tim Burton movies and the animated series and stuff like that, your Joker had a very clean white face paint with the clean red lipstick and everything else. And we saw this, and everybody was like, "That's what is this?"
Yeah, this was the Joker of your nightmares.
It was the Joker that you didn't know you wanted until you saw it, and then you were like, "Holy shit, this motherfucker's scary." I think that was the thing. I think that before we had imagined the Joker as this very almost lovable, adorable character, and fucking Heath Ledger made him scary again.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Heath Ledger was the guy that reminded you hey, I kill people. I don't know if you know this. I'm a fucking bad guy. I'm not just, all sweetness and light and fucking flowers and gags. I kill people. That's what I do.
Yeah, you see those Boy Scouts over there? Yeah, I poisoned them.
Oh, with the cotton candy? Oh. Yeah, I mean, Heath Ledger was the guy in that trailer, reminded us that the Joker was not, the happy fun guy that dances around and squirts acid out of his little flower. He was a scary motherfucker that you do not want to be left alone in a room with, because he could give you $1 or he could stab you in the face.
Yeah.
You didn't know what you were going to get.
I've said that before. You just make the movie of him, If you take out everything else in that movie, like that's a million time better movie.
So yeah, Sean, 5th round pick, The Dark Knight.
All right, so yeah, that was on my list. So my list has dwindled quite a bit, but I think I've got another good one. So for my 6th round pick, I'm gonna go with a movie based off of a Nickelodeon cartoon, a really good Nickelodeon cartoon. It's actually a cartoon that kind of brought me back into thinking it's okay to watch cartoons. But this was a live action. It was by M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh.
I don't know if you've ever watched the cartoon. I'm sure you've heard of this, but I'm gonna go with The Last Airbender.
Yeah. I liked the cartoon.
Cartoon was great. The trailer, so I watched the trailer and it got me pumped. I wanted to see this movie when it came out. You've got
that's actually a good point because you heard rumors like, hey, there might we might, and and I think it's kind of sad that like let's call the show, the cartoon was called fucking Avatar.
Yeah.
The only reason we're calling it The Last Airbender is because we had an Avatar movie and it made 89 gajillion million fucking dollars, and so we can't call it Avatar anymore.
But the trailer had everything. Like you saw like the origin story from the cartoon. You see him coming up from the ice. You see him doing all these badass ninja skills. You got all these elemental people. You got people who can change land, soil. You got fire elemental people. You've got water, and this dude's like the last airbender, the one who can control all of them.
Yeah,
you've got these factions. Like it's such a great storyline. And in the trailer, like you get pumped for this. You see these fight scenes, you see all this stuff, and you're like, yes, I'm invested. I want to see this.
Yeah. This is true.
This draft isn't about the movie, which the movie was terrible, but the trailer was, yeah.
Wow.
That was one like 15 minutes in. I'm like, whew, wow, yeah. You just want to go watch the trailer for a little bit? Call it good?
Like, okay, how long's the trailer? 2 minutes. How long's this movie? An hour and a half. How about I watch the trailer 20 times?
and that's what's sad about that is like that's a good story. Like they do books. They say like book 1 is season 1, book 2.
Yeah, the cartoon was awesome. Yeah, it was like was it an anime? I think it kind of seemed like it was on the same kind of thing as like Dragon Ball Z, where they took like a Japanese cartoon and retooled some of the story and retooled the voices, and then and westernized a Japanese cartoon.
Yeah, it's definitely Western. I don't think it was really. It was kind of anime drawing, but it wasn't the anime style. Like it was actual good animation, so it wasn't the choppy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that trailer had you invested. It's good watch, the action, everything. You get a little bit of the story. Kind of watching it the second time through, you don't hear a lot of people talk, and I kind of think I know why. But for my 6th round pick, I'm gonna go with The Last Airbender.
Yeah, that's a really I remember the trailer, and I remember I was like, hey, they're I was like, God, like it was. You watched it and you were like, God, I hope that's good. You wanted it to be good. Like, I hope that's good. It looks all right, but I hope so. Please be good.
I didn't have any thoughts that was going to be bad. I'm like, the cartoon's amazing. You follow that storyline. How's it going to be bad? And it was bad.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was. All right. Okay. Number 6. Oh God, I'm looking at this list. I don't know what I'm gonna do. All right. If we're gonna in the category of movies that didn't pan out the way I wanted, but I watched the trailer and I was like, all right, I'm going with a movie. I saw the trailer. I was in high school and I heard that they were going to make another movie, and I was so excited. And when I was in high school, the only place you could get a decent internet connection was at the actual school. And by decent internet connection, I mean you could stream a video and it wouldn't take 6 hours. For my 6th round pick, Sean, I'm going with a trailer that I downloaded in high school and watched it and brought all my friends over, and I was like, all over to the computer I was sitting at in the computer lab, and I'm like, guys, check this out, look at it. For my 6th round pick, I am going with The Phantom Menace.
That's what I figured, yeah.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
I've heard so many people talk about how amazing that trailer was. It's like, you got lightsabers, you got... Do you see what there is? There's a dude that's all red and tattooed. He's got dual lightsabers.
He's got 2 of them. Okay, and the moment that you are... I think the moment that you're finally going, what the fuck, is... or that you're like, oh my God, this is a fucking Star Wars movie, is the moment where... there's a moment in the trailer where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are twirling through this hallway just with lightsabers out, just cutting down these fucking droids like knives through butter. They're just zoom, 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 zoom. And the music's the do, 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 and you're like, oh, there's lightsabers and Star Wars music. Oh my God, it's a Star Wars movie. And then they the last 10 seconds of the trailer is Obi-Wan and Darth Maul having that very high octane fucking lightsaber battle where they're just pew pew, like it's hit do. Darth Maul's coming at him with a fucking double blade lightsaber, and Obi-Wan's just pew pew pew. Oh, it's awesome. That 10 seconds you're like, oh, That's a fucking lightsaber fight. Like, this ain't your fucking dad's lightsaber fight. Like, this is holy shit. These guys are going at it. I mean, there was the movie, yeah, and there was stuff in the movie. I mean, there was this stuff, and it was cool. There was some other stuff in that movie that wasn't very cool. But it doesn't matter, because we're talking about the trailer, and that trailer was fucking boss.
What I love too is people, when The Force Awakens came out, you heard a lot of people saying, it's like, you know what, we were saying the exact same things about The Phantom Menace about 10 years ago.
We were, and we totally were. I was there, and I remember we were totally saying the exact same things about The Phantom Menace. We were saying, oh my God, it's another fucking Star Wars movie. I didn't know that I was going to see another Star Wars movie. I was going to live to see another fucking Star Wars movie, but here it is. And there's Jedi plural with lightsabers fighting shit, and bad guys with lightsabers fighting the Jedi. Oh my God, we got it. I mean, we saw the movie, and then we're not talking about that. So yeah, there you go. 6th round pick. I'm going with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
All right, so for my 7th round money shot pick, Richard, I'm gonna talk a little bit about some semen.
Oh, please.
So I haven't seen this movie, but I swear to God, I've seen this trailer for the last 2 years. I think it came out last Christmas, Christmas 2015, and it was not in theaters very long, but it was. It seemed like a great movie. Thor was starring in this movie.
Okay.
This is the trailer for the movie In the Heart of the Sea.
Oh.
About the real life conflict with the whale that inspired Moby Dick.
Yeah.
I mean, in this trailer, it's a good trailer. It's kind of the thing I like about trailers is they deceive you. So it shows. I can't remember what the guy's name. The guy that directed it, same guy that did Forrest Gump and all those kinds of movies. Ron Howard. Ron Howard is in this, so I'm like, okay. And you see an old-timey ship, you're like, okay, it's going to be some kind of silly love story from olden times, guys out fishing or something like that. And, they're out on the ocean, all of a sudden you see the ship just go kukush. And I have a phobia of the ocean. We've already talked about this. So I'm like, oh shit, what is it?
Yeah.
And he gets up on deck and everybody's like, what's going on? And you just see this whale just swimming as fast as it can towards the ship, and you see all this destruction. The whale, Richard, is destroying the ship with his tail.
Yeah, he is.
And and you get this conflict between the people, and you're invested in this situation because it's a good setup. They're in their boat, their boat's destroyed, they're out there by themselves, and what the fuck's going on? And I
think you hear Moby Dick and you're thinking big fuck off whale, but then you're seeing it on screen and you're like, holy fuck, that's a big fuck off
You
whale.
think big whale, you're like, oh yeah, how big is a whale? And then they show it next to those ships, like I think it eats a guy, and you see how small he is, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Fucking Christ.
It looks like a 100-footer, 125 if you ask me. But what's funny about the first, because this is one that's kind of got multiple trailers, but the first trailer, they don't mention anything about Moby Dick. And so when you watch this, you're like, huh, that reminds me of Moby Dick. And then later trailers, they kind of brought that out. They're like, hey, the story that inspired Moby Dick. But yeah, it gives you a good little fear of the ocean. And it looked great. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if it's any good. But so for my money shot pick, I'm gonna go with In the Heart of the Sea.
In your case, reinvigorates your fear of the ocean.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I thought I only had to be scared of sharks, but now I got to be scared
Yeah.
of whales.
You're sitting there and you're like, see, Tiff, I told you this shit. This is why I'm afraid of the ocean. This is why you should be too. Look at that thing.
Tiffany, this is why I don't take baths, Tiffany. That's why right there.
I stay in the shower. You know why? 'Cause fucking whales. This is why we have shower stalls in the house. This is why I wear floaties. All right. Oh, for the money. What to do for the money? I've got 3 that I'm like kind of tied. You know what? This is something that we kind of mentioned for my money shot pick. This is something I think we slightly mentioned earlier. This was a movie that kind of came with a lot of trepidation. And I wouldn't say necessarily on the part of fans, but I would say trepidation on the part of the actual studio. It was like, I don't know if we should make this. I think the studio kind of had its reservations about making this movie. But again, this was a movie that people were wanting. And when we finally got the trailer and we saw the trailer, we were like, oh my God, this is exactly what we wanted. Sean, for my 7th round pick, I am going with the very recent film, Deadpool.
Oh, okay. That's a good pick.
So when it came to this movie, I think the thing that a lot of people were nervous about was like, this guy's funny. We've seen a lot of movies that have had comic book characters in it up to this point, and a lot of them were really good. How is this movie going to stand against, the Avengers? How is this movie going to stand against Iron Man? How is this movie going to stand against the Winter Soldier? These are movies that are dealing with very heavy themes, and these are movies that have a seriousness to them. Granted, there's people flying around with capes, but there's still a serious tone there. How is this movie, going to come across? And the answer is it doesn't need to be. Deadpool doesn't need to be those films. It doesn't need to be the Avengers. It doesn't need to be the Winter Soldier. Like, this movie is this, and this is how the movie's gonna come out. This is how the movie's gonna come across. It's kick-ass fucking fight scenes while he's listening to Salt and Pepper. He's sitting on the fucking bridge and he's drawing his little thing. He's got his little, his Walkman going. He's just do.
Well, there's so much prep for that too, because everybody saw the leaked test footage, and the trailer gave you that, but actually finished.
Yes, yeah, and that was I think the first time it got shown was at Comic-Con, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the first time it got shown was at Comic-Con, and people fucking lost their minds over it. I mean, that was the trailer that kind of won over Comic-Con. That was the buzz thing for Comic-Con last year. And like I said, I wouldn't say that it came out of left field, because I think people kind of had an eye on it and were like, hey, this might actually be a lot better than we originally thought it might be. And then everybody saw the trailer and people were like, oh, he's funny. And it's amazing. Like, this is a movie that looks really fucking good. And it's a movie that I will say lived up to the hype and decided to be a good movie and not try to compete with, Iron Man and the Avengers or Batman and Superman and Man of Steel. it was its own thing, and that's great. So yeah, Sean, for my money shot pick, I'm going with Deadpool.
Good pick. All right. Well, recap what we had. So, well, actually, do you have any other kind of ones that were sitting on your list?
So I was torn between Deadpool. I also had the Avengers. I had Iron Man. I did have the Batman v Superman trailer, not the one with Batman beating the shit out of the room full of people. I had Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, I don't remember seeing the trailer, but yeah, that one. I remember a lot of people talking about veterans who went to see the movie, and I know the trailer kind of gave that same feel, but like they had to leave because it was just so.
Yeah, well, I mean the trailer had some bits and pieces from the invasion at the beach in Normandy, and I don't think we had ever seen a war movie that gritty and that real, that in your face up to that point, and I it jarred some people. So yeah, I had Saving Private Ryan on there. I had Psycho.
Oh, okay.
Because I had Psycho and Jaws for and the reasons I had those was, I mean, the music. It gave you that. It was the start of the iconic music era. Psycho. You had the re, and then of course Jaws.
I had the number 23 with Jim Carrey.
Oh, yeah.
That was one that you kind of saw was real suspenseful, and you just kind of don't know what you're expecting from it, and you dive into the craziness of somebody's mind, which was awesome. I had Jurassic Park.
I thought about that one. It was a passing thought. I didn't write it down, but that did cross my mind.
Because you get the old-timey voice, you see a few dinosaurs, then you get the T-Rex foot.
Yeah.
And then this one I threw on it's more recent, and I had Cloverfield too, but this one was kind of an interesting trailer, was 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Because it was one that you just kind of dropped out of nowhere, didn't know what to expect, and it just filled you with intrigue of like, what the hell is this about?
Exactly. It kind of followed the formula of the last one, where I think I remember that trailer came out, and then you saw the trailer, and then you were like, when is this coming out? And it was going to be in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was like a month or two.
It was like a month, maybe. Yeah, I think it was like 4 to 5 weeks, and you were like, that soon? Like, I just saw this. I just learned about this, and I'm one of those people that like pay attention to like, hey, there's this new film, blah blah. Like, I saw the trailer and I was like, this is out in like 4 or 5 weeks. Like, what the fuck?
All right, well, I'll do a little recap. So for my first round pick, I had Sucker Punch. My second round pick, I had Grindhouse. Third round pick, I had Guardians of the Galaxy. Fourth round pick, I had Mr. Brooks. Fifth round pick, I had Zombieland. In the sixth round, I picked The Last Airbender. And my money shot seventh round pick was In the Heart of the Sea.
You started out strong, but I don't know. I feel like you tapered off.
I don't know. Your Deadpool is pretty good, but so for Richard, for his first round pick, he had Cloverfield. Second round pick, Watchmen. Third round pick, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Fourth round pick, Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring. Fifth round pick, The Dark Knight. Sixth round pick, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and seventh round, Deadpool.
I think you kind of did more of the watching the action, not letting your opinion of the movie influence your opinion of the trailer. I think you did a much better job of that than I did, because I think almost all the ones I picked were films that I liked.
Mm-hmm. The nostalgia of the movie itself kind of influenced your pick.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is.
All right. Well, I guess, do you want to throw out any Richard's closing thoughts on this draft episode?
A good trailer does not a good movie make. So be wary, but at the same time, be hopeful. Just because a trailer's good doesn't necessarily mean a movie's good, but that doesn't mean that you should discredit an entire film based on the opinion of. Don't discredit an entire movie based on the first, the first 90 seconds that somebody decides to show you. But at the same time, don't assume anything. There's my closing thought.
All right. Well, I will do a little bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languagebro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook and check us out on the Pocket Cast. It's an iOS, Android, Windows phone app. And subscribe and leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher.
And don't forget to check us out on the Pod Bros Network.
The best podcast site on the internet.
In a world where the best podcast site on the internet.
And if you're in the need for some headbuds, go to tweakedaudio.com. Use the promo code LBARMY. You get 33% off and free shipping.
Woo!
All right. Was there anything else before I close out our draft episode?
No. Let's shut the draft book.
Let's put away our condiments and throw away our soda and popcorn and clean up after ourselves.
Right.
So that's all. That's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean,
And I'm Richard.
and I say we eat the beaver.
In a world where beavers are eaten.
Coming this fall.
I see what you did there.